I'm Belinda Wasser, and I'd like to welcome you to the RocketGirl Show. If you're watching live, welcome. And if you're watching the replay, I hope you enjoy it. Either way, if you have comments or questions, please just add them over in the comments field, and I will be more than happy to answer them. All right, today's episode is brought to you by the VA Connection. And if you're not a member of the VA Connection yet, the VA Connection is a professional online community with the goal of educating and connecting virtual assistants all over the world. We have a Facebook group that's fabulous with 550 members as of today, and I'd love to have you join us. There are two ways to find it. One is by typing the Virtual Assistant Connection in the search bar at the top of Facebook. And the second way is to follow this bit.ly link, and that will take you right to the page as well. Once you're there, just click the join button and we'll welcome you in. There's a vault inside the group with lots and lots of videos and information, and it's relevant whether you're just thinking about being a virtual assistant, you're just starting out your journey, or you've been a seasoned VA for a long, long time. So I hope you'll check it out. All right, today we are going to talk about a topic that I think is pretty important, which is how to send a fabulous meeting invitation. And while you might be thinking, this is pretty straightforward stuff, like anybody can do this, there are a couple of things that you can do that will just make your invitations knock it out of the park. So I'm going to talk to you about those today. Okay. The first thing is to make sure that the title makes sense to everyone. So think about this. When you send a meeting invite, or let's put it this way, when you add a meeting to your calendar, you might just say meeting with Diane. And you know who that is, you know what that means. You're going to call her because you've added it to your own calendar. However, if I invited Diane to that meeting, her calendar invite would say meeting with Diane, and she would have to click into the invite to see who the meeting is with. So let me show you here. All right, so when you first open a calendar invite, and for this demonstration, I'll be using Gmail. It looks almost the same in any application that you're using for your calendar, but this is what it looks like. And I suggest that you use the names of the participants in the invite. I always put either my name or my client's name first, and that's really a courtesy to the other person that I'm sending the invite to, because when they add it to their calendar, this is what they're going to see. So at a glance, they're able to see that the meeting is with Belinda Wasser, and they don't have to search around and try to figure out what the meeting is, who the meeting is with. Oops. The second thing you want to do is provide specific instructions, and I want to show you what I mean by this. So here's the window that comes up next after you put the title in. And you can see here that it says Belinda to call Jane, and then there's a phone number. You want to be as explicit as possible. If you're meeting in person and it's for lunch, I actually put the word lunch so there's no misunderstandings about what type of meeting it is. If people are meeting in person, I try to include the cell phone numbers of both of the people who are, or all of the people who will be attending, so that way, if something happens and there's a delay, it doesn't add to the stress by them having to look for the contact information for the participants. It's just right there on their calendar, on their phone, ready for them to use. If it's a Zoom meeting, I would put the Zoom room right in that location. Anything else you can help make easier for the participants. For example, if there's parking information, there's usually a description field, and you can enter that right there. Before I invite anyone, I save the calendar invite. I review it on my own calendar, and that might seem like maybe an extra step, but the reason I do it is if I've made a mistake, let's say I'm scheduling people across different time zones and I've made a mistake on what time the meeting should start. If you don't check it first and you send the invite and then correct it, they'll get another invitation. So this way it keeps the email corrections down in other people's inboxes, and it just it looks much more professional. So after I've checked it, Then I start to invite people here by adding their names to the guest box. And again, this is Gmail, but it's very similar in an Outlook as well. Once they're all in there and I make sure that I'm using the correct email addresses, I click the Save button. You'll usually be prompted to, and it will say, especially in Gmail, it will say some of these participants are not in your organization. Send the invitation anyway. I say yes, step through those prompts, and then the invitation is sent. The last step is to confirm via email all of the meeting participants the day before. I like to do this early in the day before, so that if any changes need to be made, we can accommodate those before it gets too close to the meeting time. By doing this, it just saves people time and disappointment if for some reason their calendar didn't sync, or the meeting didn't show up properly, or there's a time zone issue. And by the way, when you confirm the email, always include the time zone. So the email would say something like, I'd like to confirm your meeting with Joe tomorrow at XYZ location at whatever time it is, ET. And that's particularly important for Zoom calls and phone calls. Not so much with in-person meetings, because hopefully they're all in the same location when you do that. Okay, so I am going to, whoops, I have a fast mouse. I am going to look over in the comments field and see if anybody has any questions that they'd like me to answer before we say goodbye for today. All right. And I'd also like to remind you that we'd love to have you in our Facebook group. Okay, it doesn't look like we have any questions today, but I will look forward to them in the replay. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for watching the Rocket Girl Show. I'm Belinda Wasser, Rocket Girl, signing off until next time. Bye-bye.